We live, we live. What's good, Ohio Cannabis Report family, Ohio family? I am your host, Gerald Moore Jr. I am the founder of Ohio Cannabis Report. I've been doing this platform for well over 5 years, I think. It's been some time ever since we got our medical program. I got my medical card. I began really speaking and following, everything happening in the Ohio cannabis space. And so this platform is a little bit newer than my original one. So if you do look up Ohio Cannabis Report, there are a couple platforms that we have. So I've been building this one up slow and steady. Our Facebook, I really just started more writing on Substack and stuff like that, just trying to get more articles out there, LinkedIn, because part of the industry is um, media, right? Like covering the industry, covering news, politics, right? The business of the business, right? And so I think it's important. Events. I will be speaking on a panel at the Ohio Cannabis Expo, hosted by a homie, um, Mastermind, aka Anthony Riley. Which I respect everything that Anthony's done on the media side. I mean, really trying to bring the community together on all different sides, because at the end of the day, you have to bring different people together, which I think is a reality that many people don't. It's hard, right? It's easy to be divisive all the time. Obviously, I share a lot of information. I call out certain people. I call out the politicians. But again, it's all a part of the same big mess. So I will be speaking on an athletes and cannabis page or panel, which I'm also the founder of Athletes and Cannabis, which is a platform that I created. I think even before we launched Ohio Cannabis Report. I've just been spending more time on Ohio Cannabis Report. But Athletes and Cannabis is something that I've been heavily focused on because, again, I'm a former Division I All-American football player. I tried out for the NFL in 2013. So again, a lot of my upbringing was in sports, and I started to consume cannabis. But obviously, as an athlete, you're under a microscope, right? And you're getting drug tested. Everybody tells you what you can and can't do. You have to create this image or live this image. That again, it's an image to market products, sell services, right? And so we want our athletes to look like these untouchable gods and beings, right? Their bodies are just immaculate. They don't eat junk food. They don't do drugs. And it's like, now we're human. You know what I mean? Like athletes are doing a lot of drugs, right? Because at the end of the day, you're damn near a racehorse. You know what I mean? So what drugs are we talking about, right? Are they the ibuprofens, the Tylenols, the Toradol, the cortisone shots, the Ambien? You getting injuries. Like everybody's taking drugs, right? It's just most people don't tell you they taking drugs. That's just the only difference, right? Most people ain't gonna tell you, oh, I'm on this, I'm on that, right? Because we want people to have this perception of what we are, who we are, right? We don't want people. And again, we you know, a lot of times people are only able to see very narrowly of what we are, who we are. But before I get too deep into this discussion, man, this is just a disclaimer. This is not legal information. I am not a lawyer. I am not a doctor. This is just independent media station that I have created and platform. So this is my thoughts and opinions, So I will show you guys information. But if you need, law advice, I would contact a lawyer. Also, I'm looking for maybe a defense lawyer, civil rights attorney that would love to support, sponsor our page and what we do if you work in the cannabis space, because I think that'd be pretty dope. I know there's a lot of people out there that just need guidance, right? And a lot of times people don't get that guidance. A lot of times people don't know where to go. They don't know which lawyers to go to. And so I think it'd be cool to have a lawyer or a law firm support what we do here over at the Ohio Cannabis Report to also help legitimize our platform, because we do a lot of great educational work. We do connect a lot of different points between politicians, policy, culture, people on the ground, people, in the trenches, doing a lot of work. So that would be pretty dope. But again, I want to thank everybody for supporting us. We do, let me see where we are subscriber wise. I know they usually don't focus on subscriptions and stuff like that, but yeah, I know the data is important for some folks. Uh Yeah, so we had 396 subs, 396 subs. Shout out to everybody on the subs, man. I appreciate it. Again, 4 away from 400. You know what I mean? So every milestone, every subscription is important to us. I appreciate everybody that tunes in for whatever purpose or reason, whether you're just here to watch, whether you're just here to energy harvest. You know what I mean? Whether you're actually getting something out of what we're creating. Again, this is just something that I created. There's no necessarily like ending point. It was just my vision to create a platform that covered all things Ohio cannabis. You know what I mean? In a different way, right? Like, obviously you got podcasts, you got everything, right? So we do have a podcast, but again, I do this solo dolo. You know what I mean? I don't have no corporate sponsors. I don't have no big budget. I don't have, a lot of time and energy. I'm a family man. You know what I mean? So I do this literally when I have some free time on my hands, which again, I make time to do this project, right? It's more of a project, I would say, than anything. So it's also, for me, it was something that I was like, man, we need more people to actually talk about cannabis. You know what I mean? Like, how do you end the stigma if the people that actually consume it don't talk about it? Right? If we just high, we just smoke weed, and we just, oh, my weed better than yours, or people just see us doing and living life like we live. But it's like we don't actually talk about cannabis and what cannabis truly is, right? Like, we know it to be something that obviously is medicinal for some of us, right? But again, politically speaking, you have all these institutions, you have the healthcare industry, which again, I have a degree in healthcare administration, so I understand the business of Western medicine, right? And so when cannabis, you can't say it's healing to people, right? Because then if somebody says, well, he said it's healing, and then they go and it doesn't heal or cure them, right? It doesn't cure anything for most people, right? Like, it helps, it assists, but it's not going to cure. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to need a lot more. So I think it's just, a lot of people have to, we dumb things down in America, right? Like, we make people very linear thinkers. And that's part of the problem with our system. But again, I appreciate everybody that has continued to support the platform. Let me see where I'm gonna show y'all where we are on the love too, so everybody can see, so you don't just think I'm talking on my ass. So we got 396 subscribers. Let's see where the analytics at. Can't you show the analytics? Logged in. Worry about it right now. But yeah, man, and I want more people I'm looking for more people to add to the platform too. So if you got an idea, if you want to be a part of the network that I'm building, if you have a show idea, if you want to be on the podcast, you don't know which way to start, you know what I mean? Like, that's part of what I do too. Consulting, networking, creative consulting, business development, marketing, advertising, you know what I mean? Social media, like, it's all a part of the same shit. You know what I mean? So, I did sales for Verizon Wireless when I got out of school. Like I said, I got a degree in healthcare administration from Ohio University with a business minor. Again, played sports at a very high level, so I understand like production, media. I'm married to a news anchor. I was a signed model and actor for a bunch of years. I still do some modeling and acting every now and again. So, I'm just trying to get people to understand, like, one, social media and the internet is a powerful tool. And if you're not leveraging it, especially now, especially with the economy, especially with jobs, like, I don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? And so many people are like, oh, I'm so afraid of, being on camera. I'm so afraid of this. I don't like to talk. And it's like, well, do a podcast. You know what I mean? It's like, and a lot of it is like, you got to find your niche, right? Your niche. Everybody's different. Like, I'm not telling people to talk about something that everybody else talking about. talk about your specific thing, and you'll be amazed at how many people engage, because you're not the only one dealing with it. You know what I mean? There's so many other people that deal with it, and it may be one or two people at a time, right? You may get 5 people, you may get 10 people, but then you connect, you create that little community, right? And all of us have our different nuances, right? All of us have our different lived experiences that somebody, like a lot of people, may not engage with what I have to talk about because it just comes from a different perspective, right? Like, you're not Black, you don't come from poverty, you don't come from a teenage pregnancy, you didn't play college sports, you didn't go to a college preparatory high school in Washington, D.C., right? You didn't have teenage, like, so again, my perspective, how I talk, my tone, my language, how I use my hands, how I look is not going to come across to everybody. How I talk is not going to come across to everybody. And you have to be fine with that, right? You have to be fine with judgment and criticism and critique. That's people's right. All right. You learn that as a football player very early on. People will judge, criticize you, say you suck, but they not out in the field. Most likely they can't even play. Most likely they didn't make it to this level. So it's easy to judge people from sitting down, being on the couch, right? Being in the stands. But there's difference when you're in the field, right? And so I'm just trying to get more people to show up in the field, right? Because it's real easy to talk shit and you not really add no value. And that's what a lot of people got to understand, especially in this cannabis space. Like, we should all be pushing our politicians to support us, right? I shouldn't be one of the only people going asking these politicians what's going on, you know what I mean? Or creating content focused on these politicians so more people understand and know and see them. But again, we all have access to the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, I literally take a lot of my content right off the internet. You know what I mean? Right from the media, or again, I'll go to the state house. But again, it's part of it is showing up and doing the work and doing the hard works. I mean, this work is not easy. So I get why a lot of people don't do it. But I did want to share this today. I don't have a huge show for y'all today because I was just hopping on in between some things I was doing. But let me go ahead and share this with you all. All right, so this came out yesterday, and they always do this, right? They give you a very short notice. So the One Ohio Recovery Foundation, let's talk about that, right? Combating the effects of opioid epidemic across Ohio, right? They're talking about opioids. How all of a sudden now are they on marijuana? So who we are. The One Ohio Recovery Foundation is a nonprofit charitable organization created at the direction of Ohio's state and local leaders to distribute 55% of the funds our state will receive from the pharmaceutical industry as a consequence of its role in the national opioid epidemic. The foundation will work with local interests to support their substance misuse prevention, treatment, and recovery efforts and invest funds to support these efforts for Ohioans into the future. The foundation is led by its executive director and governed by a 29-member board, including 19 members selected by regional groups that partner with the foundation in identifying organizations to receive funds. Created in December 2021, with most board appointments formalized in May 2022, the foundation is currently taking the necessary initial steps of any new organization, including hiring its team, establishing internal governance, financial and investment procedures, and other work mandated that these decisions be made carefully, with precision, and with careful deliberations from all key stakeholders. Over the next several months, the foundation will make regular announcements as it moves forward with fulfilling its mission and working with partners across the state in supporting substance use disorders, prevention, treatment, and recovery efforts throughout Ohio. You can receive additional information visiting the resource page. Quote, this isn't an antidote for the devastating crisis that killed so many, but the financial resources will provide for significant recovery in Ohio. The funds are necessary for the healing process that our communities desperately need, and the guardrails these companies are now required to implement will help make sure that these companies will provide a break in the system so that those individuals who need medication can receive it. I was about to say, is that a typo? Without flooding our communities. Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost. He's no longer the Attorney General either. He just resigned. So meet the leadership. As a nonprofit charitable organization, the One Ohio Recovery Fund Foundation is managed by its executive director. Blah, blah, blah. We already talked about that. So the executive director is Alicia Nelson. So here's Alicia. Then we have Amy Shattuck. Then we have the director of partnerships and outreach, Sarah Anstein. Then here's your board members, Don Mason. And you have Julie Hyman. Apologize if I say any of these wrong. Keith. I'm not going to go through all these. But yeah, these are the different people. And then you have your regional folks. Don Tyler Lee. Then you have your expert panel. Okay. So, but then I wanted to show you all this because this recently came out. Where's the news? So I wanted to show you all this because this just came out May 11th. What they are saying, State of Ohio, One Ohio Recovery Foundation announces 20 million public education campaign on cannabis use. Columbus, Ohio, in response to today's announcement, we'll go here. I think this is the press release. Yeah, we'll just do the press release. For immediate release, May 11, 2026, Ohio Department of Commerce and the One Ohio Recovery Foundation announces $20 million statewide public education campaign on marijuana risk. Campaign responds to rising marijuana use and declining perceptions of risk, beginning with maternal health before expanding to youth prevention and workforce education. Columbus, Ohio. The Ohio Department of Commerce and the One Ohio Recovery Foundation today announced a new statewide public education campaign to help Ohioans better understand the health and safety risks of marijuana use. The launch comes as new statewide polling shows marijuana use is increasing across Ohio, while perceptions of risk are declining for certain behaviors, including use during pregnancy and among youth. The initiative includes multiple statewide campaigns designed to support targeted prevention and education efforts for key populations, including expectant and prospective mothers, youth and Ohio's workforce. This first phase, set to launch this summer, will focus on maternal health, followed by expanded efforts centered on youth prevention and employer partnerships to educate Ohio's workforce. The largest investment will dedicate to preventing youth marijuana use. Quote, since my first day in office, combating addiction and protecting the health of Ohio families has been a top priority for our administration, end quote, said Governor Mike DeWine. Quote, with non-medical marijuana now legal in Ohio, it's more important than ever that Ohioans, especially young people and mothers, have access to accurate information and understand the real consequences of use, end quote. I haven't seen this type of campaign for alcohol, though. Interesting. Supported by $20 million, and $20 million is not going to go that far, by the way. Like half of that money, 75% of that money is going to be used in administrative costs. Supported by $20 million, appropriated in the state's current operating budget, the campaign will be overseen by the Ohio Department of Commerce and developed with guidance from national prevention experts, including Truth Initiative. Recent polling commissioned by One Ohio builds on research completed shortly after sales of non-medical marijuana commenced in 2024 and underscores the need for a statewide public education effort. Key findings include marijuana use among Ohio adults continues to rise. 41% of Ohioans report currently using marijuana, up from 35% in 2024. And nearly half of current users, 48%, say they use it daily. Legalization is changing public attitudes. Over two-thirds of Ohioans, 67%, say marijuana has become more socially acceptable since legalization. Use is reported among many women who are pregnant or planning pregnancy. 51% of women who are pregnant or hope to become pregnant say they use marijuana. Acceptance of marijuana use during pregnancy is increasing, particularly among groups most likely to be affected. 19% of Ohioans now say marijuana use during pregnancy is acceptable, up to 14% in 2024. That figure rises to 26% among women who are pregnant or planning pregnancy, 37% among younger women who currently use marijuana. And also, these people are very ignorant too, right? Like, combustion of marijuana definitely, smoke, right? If you go just inhale a bunch of fucking car smoke, that's going to impact health and wellness, right? But you got CBD, you got tinctures, CBG, you got so many different ways, right? You got topicals, you got patches. So again, I'm all for ladies' health, you know what I mean? And any type of more information. But again, it's weird that they're putting out 20 million, only 20 million. Like, they've sold over $1 billion in cannabis. You know what I mean? So we have to be mindful. Like 20 million? Okay. You know what I mean? And then going to do a big press release 2 days before they do the event. So let me see. The campaign will execute a coordinated multi-channel outreach effort to deliver clear, evidence-based information to Ohioans. Leveraging medical experts and informed by polling and focus group data, the initiative will actively address misinformation grounded in focus groups and polling data, correct common misconceptions, and equipped individuals with accurate, accessible information to make informed decisions. That's just going to be a website and some videos, right? Like, it's not going to be no crazy campaign. I'm already telling you. The effort will include targeted paid media. Targeted paid media. How are they going to do that? I bet you they don't do no TikToks. Strategic community partnerships and on-the-ground outreach coordinated by the foundation. Quote, we're seeing growing misconceptions about the risk associated with marijuana, and this campaign responds directly to what the research is telling us, end quote. What research? Did they tell us some parents? I'm gonna have to go look at that. The Truth Initiative. Who's behind that? Said One Ohio Recovery Foundation Executive Director Alicia Nelson. Quote, too many people underestimate those risks, especially for young people and during pregnancy. This effort is about ensuring Ohioans have clear, accurate information to protect their health and make informed decisions to safeguard their futures, end quote. The rapid growth of non-medical marijuana market further reinforces the need for public education. Ohioans spent more than $836 million on non-medical marijuana products in 2025, the first full year of legal non-medical sales. Following the launch of non-medical marijuana sales in August 2024 through the end of that year, there was approximately $242 million in sales. Underscoring the need for the first campaign, research shows many expectant mothers receive mixed messages about marijuana use during pregnancy. The campaign's first phase is designed to cut through the confusion by providing clear, evidence-based guidance and to encourage conversations between patients and healthcare providers about risks, questions, and safer alternatives. Quote, as we recognize Maternal Health Awareness Month in May, that's why they're doing it too, I guess, we are preparing to launch a campaign that meets moms-to-be with information they can trust, end quote, Nelson added. How about they put this money towards actually supporting moms? Ohio has one of the highest maternal and infant mortality rates in the country. Columbus, Franklin County has one of the highest, and I know because my family experienced it, and my wife don't smoke or use cannabis for that matter. Quote, Our goal is to help expectant mothers understand the risk of marijuana use during pregnancy, encourage open conversations with healthcare providers. Also, this is a setup because what did SB 56 do? SB 56 gave healthcare providers the ability to discriminate against patients, right? For organ transplants. You think that's not for a pregnancy? You think that if you go talk to a healthcare provider and you say you smoking weed, they might not take that baby from you and be a ward of the state? It's a diabolical game, y'all. Recent polling shows Ohioans strongly support public education on marijuana risk, and they trust community voices and healthcare experts most to deliver it. Well, I don't know what healthcare experts they trust. Yeah, all right. Let's see what community voices y'all really talking to. With strong statewide partnerships, One Ohio is well positioned to lead and deliver clear, credible information. Additional details about the public education campaign will be announced soon. To learn more and sign up to receive campaign updates, visit www.oneohiofoundation.com/public-education. Media contacts: Michaela Hunt, Ohio Department of Commerce, 614-639-0097. One Ohio Recovery Foundation, press at oneohiofoundation.com. So that was my news that I wanted to share with y'all today. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I believe they do have the press conference tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the Department of Commerce, downtown Columbus, Ohio. So we will be there. But again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Ohio Cannabis Report. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Substack, let's say Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, um, all the platforms. Again, I'm trying to build this platform up as much as possible. Thanks to all of our followers. Thanks to all of our subscribers, everybody that likes, engages, comments, people that came to the event. Man, I'm still overwhelmed by all the support for the first Cannabis Social Equity Forum. I'm working on the next one right now, so be on the lookout for the next Columbus or Ohio Cannabis Forum. I will be at the Ohio Cannabis Expo on Saturday. I'm also speaking on the social equity panel on Friday night, Friday evening. So be sure to come through and support. So peace.